Okay, video number 21. If you're still with us, we're almost done. Rhyming. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to start off with the eyes, and then we're going to tool a little bit of this, and then we'll tool a little bit of the hair, and I'll let you go. I like to mark where the tear ducts are. And that gives me 2 pinpoints to make sure they're equidistant from the center of the nose and they're level. There's nothing wrong with eyes that look different, but when they're not on the same level, that's when you run into trouble. Okay, I'm going to do a regular plain old eye. And I'm just going to go straight across the top. Like that. Dip down at the end. And then just a little dip for the eye. And I think I may have made it oversized. Too long. Yeah, we'll cut that in. Simple eye. Before I do that, I want to make sure I'm rounding the eye socket, because it doesn't do any good to try to do a round eye on a flat socket, because then you're going to end up with primarily a flattened eye. So I'm gonna use the smallest gouge I've got. That's not the smallest. I've got an even smaller one. This is a real tiny one from Drake. Anyway, what I want to do is round that. I'm gonna go over, and then I'm gonna plunge in out here in the inside, because I want that eye socket to be deep in the inside where the tear duct is. Okay, I've got a YouTube series of videos, about 4 or 5 of them out there, on carving eyes. If you've never seen it, get done with this video, go on over there and take a look at that. But I want to make sure the eye is rounded, just like that. Can you see that eye socket? I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to go up, and I'm going to come back down into that eye socket, and back up into that eye socket. When that comes out, that should give me a depth in the tear duct for that eye to sit in. I'm going to follow that all the way around, and it makes everything rounded from where I'm doing it. So a small gouge, I don't know, this is number 9 or number 11, but it allows me to get that round. Now I want to cut a little bit right here at the top of the nose, and I'm just bringing that eyebrow down to it. Okay, I've drawn in a quick eye, and so what I want to do now is find a flexible. When I say flexible, this is what I mean. It flexes. This blade flexes on you. So great tool for doing this, but it can be very dangerous. I always do the subject's right eye, the part on my left, because I'm going to do that upside down. And if I can do it upside down, I should be able to match it on the right side. Again, same thing. I'm going to put my knife right in the tear duct, and as I go across the bottom, I'm going to follow the line that I did, and I'm going to pull it out so that it's almost out down here at the end. I'm going to turn it 180 degrees, and I'm going to go that way from the outside up and then down to the inside. And those 2 cuts should match, because what I want to do is in these corners, I want to pop those 2 chips out. If those 2 cuts met, chip pops out just like that. And what you have is the eye rounded that way. And we'll do the same thing here. If those cuts matched and met, I can get it right out of that corner. Now what I want to do is take off the sliver on the bottom and a sliver at the top. And whatever you have to do to get that eyeball rounded, that's what you want to do. I hope that's in focus. I'm trying to get it in focus. Hopefully you can see that rounded eye. Now I should be able to do the same thing on this side, and so I'll do the same plunge cut in the tear duct, roll it across deeper there, and then I'm going to do that plunge cut again, up, over. Be careful as you turn your knife. It's got to be flexible and very pointed, thin, because if not, you're going to break out all that stuff. I should be able to get a little bit out right there, a little bit out right here. If my cuts match, that one didn't meet, no big deal, I can cut it in. Take out that little bitty. I've got some cheaters around here that I use occasionally when my eyes are tired. Most of the time I can see this fairly well, but there are times when my eyes are tired and they just don't want to work with me. And so now I take off that one up there, that sliver there, this sliver here. And again, another eye, slightly smaller than the other one. Now I can go back in and cut that in if I want to, or I can make that part of the design feature, because no two eyes have to be exactly alike. If you'll look at your neighbor, look at the person you're sitting next to right now, have them smile, squint, grimace, whatever, and look at how sometimes different their eyes can be. You have that different in the two eyes. I'm going to take a small V, or what I call a wee V. It's a real tiny V. And I'm just going to go up where I rounded earlier. I'm just going to go up and I'm just going to take out enough to fake like I've got an eyelid there. Can you see that there? If you want to deepen it, you can take a very flexible knife and cut up into it and then take out a little bit, but stay away from the edge of the eyelid because it's easy to break it off. I couldn't tell you how many I've broken off. Even when I'm very careful, I still do that. Again, eyelid. At the end of the eye, I like to add crow's feet, so I take this little one, add a couple of crow's feet. Don't need much. You're just giving it the impression of wrinkles out there on an old cowboy. Okay. If you want to, you can add a bag. And we'll use a little gouge like this. A bag is the part under the eye. It gets puffy when you're tired. It gets swollen when you work too much. I like to put a little bag on most of the eyes that I do. I don't do it on every single eye, but on most of them I do. And you can sit here and piddle, play, and putter with that until the cows come home. I'm not going to do that. Okay, what we are going to do next is tool the hair. And tooling the mustache, tooling the sideburns, tooling the hair and the head is the same process. What I like to do is I like to grab a big round gouge. I say big as in big, not tiny as these little ones we're using here. But I'm just going to randomly give it some feature. There's no rhyme or reason to which direction I'm going other than in the general direction in which the hair grows on that sideburn. I just want to give it some dimension. I don't want to put hair in there and find out every hair looks like he just came out of the barbershop. Every hair looks like he just came out of the spa. Okay? I do that. I grab a fairly good size V tool and try not to hit the same grooves. I'm going to randomly just short and long strokes on doing the sideburn. Okay? And then after that, I'd take a smaller V, and now is where I'm going to add all the little fine details. Out here at the end of the sideburn, I want to make it so it's not straight completely over. I don't want the same lines. Now I'm going to add just smaller ones in between some of these bigger ones. Curve these, make them terminate out here at the front part of the sideburn. And if you've done your sideburn to where some of it covers over the hair, now's the time to add that little feature in there. I didn't do that on these ears, but because I didn't want to throw you off. That's the same process that we use on all of it. Hair on the mustache, hair on the sideburn, hair on the back of the head. Ordinarily what I would do when I'm done with this is then to take it out and I do the burnishing with the Scotchgard pads. I use a small mandrel that's a 1/4 inch, and it has a screw in the top, cut 1 by 1 inch squares. I'll show you what that looks like. This is the mandrel. It looks like that. It's just a tool that fits into my rotary tool, which spins at upwards of 2,500 RPMs. This spins, you chuck it down, it spins, and over time it gets rounded like this. And what it does is it doesn't sand, but it's just as if you had a piece of scratch guard and you were just rubbing it. And so what you're doing over time, I mean, it looks differently when I'm doing it by hand, but over time, it only takes a few minutes. It kind of softens some of the surfaces. I don't know if you can see that very well right there, but it softens some of those surfaces, takes away some of the little cracks that you have right here, and it burnishes the wood back into shape. And I like that finished touch, although some caricature carvers don't like it. I do. And it allows you to get down in here with these little fuzzies and get some of those fuzzies out of the way. That's the last thing I would do before I was done painting it. Before I was done and going to paint it, rather. I'll finish this guy, and eventually I'll put him on my website, ericowensart.blogspot.com. Feel free to check me out there. But I think this little guy was fun, and I appreciate my English comrade over there from the Gloucester Carvers who challenged me to do this without power tools. And I think it was a good project, because I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there who do not have a lot of room for power tools or a lot of money for it, and so this is one that you can do. You could certainly cut that out with a coping saw if you know what that is, and they're easy to use. They're easy to figure out how to get where you want to go. But anyway, this little guy was kind of fun. I've got a lot of cleanup to do to him before I paint him, but stay tuned, and I'll see if I can't put him on my website. It was good carving with you, and we'll see you on the next project. Adios, amigos.